The main goal of most movies is to tell a great story that emotionally impacts the audience in some way. Viewers know what they're watching isn't real, but if the filmmakers do their job, it will feel that way. One way of knowing that a narrative has connected with moviegoers is if people cry during a specific scene. Throughout history, there is no shortage of movies that can start up the waterworks, and that's what this video is all about. Here are 10 famous movie scenes that will make anyone cry. Up. Not every film can come out of the gates like this. The opening segment of Pixar's Up chronicles the love between Carl and Ellie, as the two childhood friends grow to become a happily married couple dreaming of seeing the world together. As they get older, Ellie unfortunately dies of an undisclosed illness, leaving Carl feeling lonely and extremely sad. Nobody expected what was sold as a fun adventure movie to start with this sequence, and the results ripped our hearts right out. The beautiful musical score by Michael Giacchino helps the scene resonate even more, and the tears were out in full force. The Lion King. Disney has a history of emotionally devastating the audience, and The Lion King is no exception. The scene that gets viewers all the time is Mufasa's death scene, with Simba trying to wake his father up following the wildebeest stampede. Few things are as heartbreaking as a child telling his dead parent, "You gotta get up," before realizing the tragedy of what has happened. Main characters dying have been a part of films for years, and at times it's necessary to propel the plot forward, but it doesn't make scenes like this any easier to watch. The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. After embarking on a journey across Middle-earth with Frodo and Sam, audiences became very attached to the two friends and enjoyed seeing them together. This is why it absolutely wrecked viewers when at the end of The Return of the King, Frodo says farewell to his beloved companion and sails off to the land of the elves with Gandalf. The hobbits had been through so much together in their quest, it was impossible to imagine one without the other. After all, Frodo wouldn't have made it that far without Sam. More than a decade later, this scene still makes fans cry. Knowing it's coming doesn't make it any better. Toy Story 3. The Toy Story trilogy had plenty of emotional moments, but few can match up to the whammies served up in Toy Story 3. For those who grew up with the franchise, watching Andy's toys all hold hands in the incinerator thinking they're about to die is brutal. But the movie's end had a whole other thing coming. Before he drives off to college, Andy makes a stop at Bonnie's to give the young girl his collection of toys, providing each one with an individual introduction. By the time he gets to Woody and Buzz, it's more than a little dusty in the theater, as the young adults bid adieu to their childhoods. E.T. the Extra Terrestrial. Steven Spielberg films are built on a sense of heart, which is why the director has been a fan favorite for decades. One of his most popular films remains E.T. the Extra Terrestrial, in large part because of the bond formed between Elliot and E.T. The two helped each other in several ways, and that made their goodbye all the more emotional. All of the kids in the movie had a tough time seeing their friend go, but Elliot's is the most impactful. Just thinking about E.T. saying, "I'll be right here," is enough to make anyone tear up. It's a good thing that proposed sequel never got off the ground. I Am Legend. A surefire way to get an emotional response out of the audience is to hurt or kill an animal, and I Am Legend served up a doozy. Dr. Robert Neville's lone companion in an abandoned New York is his German Shepherd Sam, who keeps him sane and is a loyal friend. So when Sam got attacked by some infected dogs, viewers had to bear themselves for the inevitable. Noticing that his pet is going to transform into a bloodthirsty monster, Neville has no choice but to mercifully take Sam's life. The pain on Will Smith's face accurately reflects how we feel watching this scene. Saving Private Ryan. The brotherhood between soldiers in the military is strong, and the team shown in this modern classic certainly feels like a family by the end of it. Tom Hanks's John Miller was the glue that kept it together, always doing the right thing and keeping his focus on the mission at hand. During the final battle when Miller met his end, it certainly struck a chord, and even the most hardened men got choked up. He yearned to go back home, and now he'll never get that chance. If that wasn't enough, the time jump showing James Ryan as an elderly man asking his wife if he's led a good life is all we need to weep. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Who says movie tears have to always be sad? The return of Star Wars was a monumental occasion, and fans got misty-eyed just from watching the trailers for Episode 7. The scene that reduced most to giddy fanboys was when Han Solo and Chewbacca made their way onto the Millennium Falcon for the first time since 1983. With Han proclaiming, "Chewie, we're home," millions of viewers cheered and got swept up in the moment. No matter how many times a Star Wars fan sees this, they're always overcome with joy, and they always cry out of happiness. Few could have predicted an Episode 7 would ever happen, which made this sweet and unbelievable. Terminator 2: Judgment Day. At the emotional core of James Cameron's sequel is a touching father-son dynamic between the T-800 and young John Connor. As the cyborg protects the future savior of humanity, they form a bond that pays off in unexpected ways. After the T-1000 is defeated, the T-800 has to sacrifice himself so no traces of Skynet are left in the present day. Despite John's pleas, there's no other way, and the Terminator has to be terminated. As the robot gets lowered into the steel, we're right there with John, crying our eyes out. The well-timed thumbs up is a nice touch to cap it all off. Who says cyborgs don't have a heart? Good Will Hunting. This drama focuses on the dynamic between the troubled Will Hunting and his therapist Sean, who tries to help him overcome his past traumas. After many sessions of opening up and being honest with each other, their time comes to a close with an emotional look at Will's file. Revealing that he too was the victim of physical abuse from his father, Sean repeatedly tells Will that none of the bad things that have happened are his fault. That one line, over and over again, becomes Will's big breakthrough, as he's able to release his pain and move on with his life. For viewers, this is a satisfying conclusion to Will's arc. Those are just some of the scenes that can get moviegoers reaching for the tissues. Which ones did we miss? Sound off in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe for more fun videos. Thanks for watching.